Initialize sequence.
Yo, this Blaze, you down, homie.
This is Jamie Match Rock.
This be the one them called Tech 9. Yo, what up? This is Shag's 2 Dope from Insane Clown Posse. This is the genius, Chris Calico.
What up? It's G-Mo Ski. This is Ritz, White Jesus.
It's the Kid Mercury. This is Slain. Dragon Eyes.
Necro, Project Born, Mad Child,
Your boy Jerry.
Vinted. Welcome to the Underground, Australia's home of rap, metal, and alternative music.
What is up and welcome to the Underground. It is Ned, joined by Of Mice and Men vocalist Aaron Pauley. Aaron, how are you, man?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I'm going really well, man. Great to see you in person too, man. Exciting times for Of Mice and Men with the release of Timeless. What can you tell us about this one?
These were 3 songs that we started working on shortly after Shiprock last year. We did the entire recording process and writing process over Zoom. And then I mixed and mastered it. So it was something we did entirely in-house, like during the pandemic. You know, since we lost touring, it was kind of the most appropriate thing to do was to try and spend our time working on writing new songs. So keep us sane and keep giving our fans some content, you know, kind of keep that conversation moving.
Yeah, it's interesting that you've gone about you're going to release 3 EPs now. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. That's correct. At least.
At least. Oh, I like that right there. Hopefully that's a little bit of a drop. So 3 songs are out now. They're very, very good. What can you tell us about the upcoming songs off the new EPs?
I don't want to give away too much because then I won't have anything to come back and talk about. But no, you know, it's for us, you know, we after doing 6 albums, we were really interested in releasing music in shorter format just so we can get it out to our fans with less lag time than if you were to create and curate an album's worth of material and then get that ready for release and whatnot. So, and I also think it allows you a little bit more room to kind of push creative boundaries because you don't necessarily have to thread the needle through 10 songs on an album or whatever an album's worth of material would be. So you kind of don't really have to worry as much about blurring the lines a little bit. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of freeing in a way. But it also just, you know, fundamentally, it allows us to release new music every few weeks for the rest of the year. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think you guys have hit the nail on the head big time there. Actually, in this day and age, 2021, people are sort of, you know, thriving for new content and whatnot. You release all your music at once, bam. What else do they have to look out for? I think you guys have gone about it in the right way.
I think in the traditional sense of, you know, the reason why you would drop an album's worth of material is because you were then going to be touring that record for 18 months, you know, playing those songs before you made another one. So I think because there isn't that sort of outlet of expression or communication, it's for us, it feels a little bit like we're sort of bridging that gap. And at the same time, you know, it eventually it will end up being an album's worth of material at least, you know. So I think I don't know. And for us, it's just, it's exciting and it's refreshing too, you know, because you do something 6 times the same way or relatively the same way. It's kind of nice to switch it up a little bit. You know, you're working on multiple creative projects at one time instead of one big project. You're working on 3 smaller projects and you get to sort of expand and figure out where you're going to thread the needle with, you know, whether it's aesthetically or sonically. It's always just kind of cool.
Yeah,
it's been a cool process.
It does seem like a cool process, and bands once again, in this time of COVID and whatnot, have had to go about doing things this way, Aaron. And I think it's great that you've got that. And you mentioned touring throughout there, and I guess you get asked this in every interview, but what is Of Mice and Men's sort of current status on touring? What do you think you'll be? What do you think you'll be on? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if touring is going to be a thing anytime soon. It's not looking that way here. I don't know. We have stuff on the books for Europe in summer, and I don't know. My whole thing is once it's safe to do so, I think we'll get back on the road. But like, we definitely, I don't think we're itching to be like the first band back. You know, I think we're all kind of in the same boat where we want to wait until it's safe for everybody, because music is supposed to be entertainment. You know, you're not supposed to risk life and limb to do so. So, yeah. But then we'll be back.
No, couldn't agree with that right there, right anymore, man. Like, you want to be safe, you want to be happy, and you don't want to be going out and setting a bad example, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just don't, I wouldn't put anybody in harm's way playing a show with a barricade that's faulty. I wouldn't do it if there was a risk of somebody getting egregiously sick, And I suppose before there were risks, I got sick every tour I ever went on because I was always hanging out with people and meeting people and, but I think it's a pandemic, it's different. So once it's safe to do so, we'll get back out. But until then, we're just going to keep working on new music and just plucking away at it.
Yeah. And man, I had a note here. I had to say this to you because my son got very excited when I said I'm interviewing Aaron of Mice and Men. And he's like, of Mice and Men, that's the exact book they're reading in school at the moment. So there you go.
That's rad.
Yeah, kind of cool right there, man. But tell us about signing with SharpTone. That label right now has just gone from strength to strength, and you guys just seem to be the perfect fit. And it was sort of a bit of a surprise for the new year.
Yeah, it's funny because we actually signed with them like early on last year. But there was there wasn't really much to do besides work on music. So no, they are a massive, they're a massively creative company in terms of how they want to push the boundaries in terms of releases. When we actually started taking meetings with labels, one of the things we talked about was how we wanted to release music in shorter formats. We want to release EPs. We want to be able to create a single and be really stoked about it and give it to our label and release it instead of, being stuck in album deals with like terms and sunset clauses and everything. Like we wanted to be able to release music as organically as we create it. And they were not only on board with that, but they were really excited about figuring out, the best and most productive ways of doing that. So instead of just giving us the creative freedom to do that, they became a creative partner, and they've been huge in liaising a lot of the graphic design stuff, a lot of the animation and things like that. So they've been a great team. And it's awesome because we didn't leave Rise because we had a bad relationship. We still love those guys. It's they're like family. It's just nice, after doing something 6 times, it's nice to just change it up a bit. And the thing about it is those albums and those releases, the of Mice and Men Rise catalog, it's going to be there. So it's just kind of an evolving legacy rather than they changed. It's different now. It's all different.
Yeah, I love that because when you come out and said it, you said it's all still love with Rise Records, which I thought was great.
Oh, of course.
A lot of people come out and start bagging the old label and whatever, but nothing like that.
No,
that was great.
No, and there's kind of no reason to. They always allowed us to be as creative. There was never one instance in which there was mix notes or changes to songs or material or anything like that. So got nothing but love for Rise, But it's been great working with SharpTone because they are just hungry and sort of the creative visions for the future of where the scene could end up and where music releases could end up. They're really on the forefront of wanting to push some of those boundaries in rock music. So I think it's really cool that they're doing that.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely. And you said, about the animation and whatnot with SharpTone Records. Tell us about this animated video. I like this a lot. It's very artistic. So they were behind that, were they, for Obsolete?
So yeah, they help liaise all the directors and things like that, because we will come to labels or to our management or whomever our creative partners are and say, hey, we want to do something that's an animated video that's based around the artwork Derek Hess created, because we love Derek. His artwork is iconic. He did a bunch of album art and tour posters and stuff for several iconic bands for us when we were growing up, in our high school years in the early 2000s and whatnot. So they were huge in it was actually Sean Keith at SharpTone that was hey, this is the guy. His name's Frankie Nasso. We really want to get him involved. And he worked hand in hand with Frankie to make sure that the video, that the vision came to life the way that he understood it, because he makes it a point to want to understand our vision for things to help bring that to life for our fans. So it's been really, really cool.
Yeah.
And Frankie and his team killed it. because I think that video is awesome.
That video is awesome right there. I love it. Put it all together very nicely. So, Aaron, you've got the new EP out now, Timeless. Is there any way that you can, I know you said earlier, and it's fair enough, you can't really give too much away, but is there a bit of a timeline maybe for the rest of these EPs, possibly a timeline?
I mean, there's just going to be new music every few weeks for the rest of the year. Whatever that ends up looking like.
Yeah, every few weeks. There you go. You can't ask for much more than that. All right, man.
And a few could be as little as 3. A few could be as many as 6 or 7. I don't know. A few is kind of like, I don't know. A few is definitely less than 10, right? I don't know. But see, here's the other cool thing too, is there's not like super concrete plans or anything like that. We are sitting on a ton of material that we have, and it's just about kind of figuring when the right time to fire off is. So it's really been kind of cool, and it's kind of interesting. It's like an art project that's always kind of evolving, you know. Like after this, I have some emails where I'm going to look at some artwork and some merch, because all of it's all interconnected, you know. It all tells a piece of the story in a way. So yeah, it's really cool. It's like just a bunch of different art projects going on.
Yeah, that is fantastic right there. I'm trying to read and analyze what you're saying there. I'm like, I think he's sitting on a ton of music he's about to drop, but you know, we'll just have to wait and see.
Oh yeah, well, and not just sitting on it, but creating it, you know, like it's you have to think, if EP1's coming out now, EP2 is going to probably come out in a few months, and then EP3 is going to come out later on at the end of the year. We're right now working on finishing up EP3, and then who knows what EP4 will be after that, if there is EP4. But we're a band where as soon as we're done creating an album, we literally start writing almost immediately, because we usually find that it's those songs that you write right after you're finished with an album are usually the best sort of bridging songs between your last album and whatever your new works end up, you know, being. I don't know if you can hear my dog snoring or not, but
I actually can, and I'm like,
there she is.
The whole time, Aaron, I'm like, is that his stomach or is that a dog? Don't say anything.
Yeah.
Say anything.
No. Yeah. I've just been farting the entire interview.
I love that. Right.
No, she's been snoring.
Oh, fantastic. What's the dog's name?
Daisy.
Daisy. Yeah. My dog Panda out in the lounge room at the moment. Hopefully you can't hear her snoring. She does get pretty loud.
Not at all.
Oh, no, that is fantastic, man. Let's change things up to you real quick before I let you go. I want to know, if you were doing music, you seem like a pretty artistic sort of fella. What do you think you'd be doing?
Drugs.
Whoa.
Hard drugs. No. No, I don't know. I think about that a lot. You know, at one point in time, I really wanted to either be a professional skateboarder or a musician, and I definitely chose to be a musician, because I got to maybe 16 or 17 years old, and I just my shins, I just didn't like getting hit in the shin anymore. I don't think anybody likes it, but I particularly disliked it. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I'd probably, if I wasn't in a band, I'd probably still be producing, you know, and doing mixing and mastering work and stuff like that. But I can't imagine a life without music. So maybe it would be hard drugs, which I don't advocate. I don't advocate doing that, but you know, there's a high likelihood.
Yeah, I like how you just played that.
Just
right.
Kidding.
Most definitely.
I can't wait for the blog posts. Aaron Pauley probably would do hard drugs.
All right, man. So
it's been a day.
I want to find out a little bit about you, man, and you possibly just answered the question that I'm about to ask. What's a bit of a surprising fact that might spin of Mice and Men fans out to know about you? I guess the fact that you'd be doing hard drugs if you weren't in the band. Is there anything else a little bit out there and kooky?
Oh God. Probably not, man. I mean, I like playing PC games. I guess a weird fact is, technically, if you consider childhood martial arts lessons or practices, if that continues on into adulthood, then technically I'm a 2nd degree black belt.
That is super cool right there.
But I was 10, so you couldn't ask me to do any of it, and I can't kick above my waist, so not much of a threat.
I would like to see visuals of that, especially with Cobra Kai being so big now.
Yeah, huh? No, back in the back in the day, it was the movie Three Ninjas.
Oh,
I was like, oh, I got to do that.
I love it how that, because I'm a bit older than you, so I love it how Three Ninjas was your thing right there. I think that's fantastic. All right, man. One last thing before I let you go. Can I get a recommendation from you for people listening or people watching? What's something that you recommend? It can be a book, movie, music, not hard drugs.
Not hard drugs. I recommend doing, between 5 and 15 minutes a day of just something creative. I think human beings, as a species, we have survived this long, and we, got out of the caves and built civilizations because of our creativity. And we're now at a point in human history where everything's kind of done for us, and there is no shortage of food and water, shelter, and part of your reptilian ancient brain needs to create something. And it does wonders, at least for me personally, it does wonders for my mental health. It kind of keeps me grounded. I think even if I wasn't doing it for a vocation or a career, I would do it as a hobby. I would just recommend everybody just find something creative to do. Even if you're just going to doodle or you want to learn origami or something, just exercise that little part of your ancient brain, and just go out and do something a little creative. Just a little bit, It's healthy and it's grounding, and I swear it's something that I feel like as a species we're kind of getting disconnected from with technology and stuff. Like, you or I, at least in my life, I've never had to be creative to survive in the traditional sense of food, water, shelter, safety, so I find that in music. I wish I could draw, but I can't, but yeah, just have some sort of creative hobby to do, because it's a good, healthy thing to exercise.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic recommendation right there, Aaron. It is.
Yeah. And don't do hard drugs. Probably.
Please.
I've never done them, so I can't tell you, but I could say, scientifically, probably you shouldn't. Right? That's good advice. Probably don't do drugs.
Do not, Aaron. Do not do drugs.
Oh, man.
Aaron Pauley from...
I can't even believe I said that.
And man, neither can I, man. I'm spun out. Let's just skip over that bit real quick. The new EP is out now. It's called Timeless. We've got a whole bunch of new music on the way. Be sure to hit these guys up. Facebook.com/ofmice. And I love your other handles here for Twitter and Instagram, Aaron. OMNM.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
I think, and then I think Facebook is like Of Mice. I don't know. They're kind of all over the place. If you just Google it, you'll find it. If you Google Of Mice and Men and you end up in the John Steinbeck sort of section, then you turn down the wrong corner. But
you definitely did. I would like to point out, though, you've got many, many more likes than what that one does on your Facebook.
Yeah. Suck it, Steinbeck. Just kidding.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah.
This has been another presentation from the Grey Wolf Entertainment Network, greywolfentertainment.net.